Welcome LearnWake members, this is Brandon Judd, and today I'm working on a video analysis request that has been uploaded by user felval. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly. This is on a heel-side back roll, and in the description down here it says that all your back roll attempts look the same, you just can't quite land it, and that it's a little off axis and you'd like some help with that. You're right, the axis is a little funky, and that's only because you're starting your back roll so early and your edge is a little backwards. So short answer, you're edging too hard too early, and then you flatten off at the wake and start to flip really quick, rather than the correct way would be to save all that lean and edge for right at the wake, and then don't start flipping until you've already edged all the way through the wake. That's the short, simple answer, but let's walk you through this and help you understand how and why that is, and let you visualize the whole thing, as well as give you some steps to work on. So first of all, let's talk about your approach, your setup to this. So you're able to edge out away from the wakes in a nice strong body position, and to be honest, you edge out a little too wide. That encourages this hard load at the beginning rather than saving it for the end. So you edge out really far, and then what happens is your edge back in starts out really good, and then you start to really get on your edge really hard right here, which is just too early. This position, this edging position, should be right here, over on this side. So essentially we need to take 5 to 10 feet out of the approach. So let's get you lined up here where you're crossing the spray line. So you're right crossing this edging zone spray line here that we like to talk about. And I'm going to compare this to Kyle's version. So you'll see he's also crossing this same kind of spray line here. And this is the spray that the boat has when you see water shooting out of the side of the boat. This is where that water is landing, causing a little bit of kind of that like foam on the top of the water. So this is a good gauge. This is a good spot to look at when it comes to where you should really start bearing down on the line. So that's kind of your edging zone right here. However, if you look at your approach, you'll notice that it goes way off screen here and then comes in at a really sharp angle. What that means is that you edged out really long and slow, and then you kind of hooked a hard turn back toward the wake and edged really hard really quick. So let's look at Kyle's. So if you look at this, it's this nice mellow circle, very gradual. So first of all, it doesn't go really far off screen, it doesn't go way out to that side, because he just doesn't edge out that far, frankly. He edges out a lot shorter of an approach than you do. And what it does is it allows him to get on, when he starts edging back into the wake, it allows him to get on edge really hard, really fast, and not have that mess him up, because at this point he needs to have the wake really close so he can edge at this position and just hold that quickly through the wake, instead of having to slow this edge down and wait so that he could stay on edge through the wake. So let's look at what happens with Kyle's setup. You'll notice he starts to bear down on the line even harder and harder and harder, and he's really tall, and his board, you can see a lot of the bottom of the board, and so his back foot is right at the crest of the wake here. And pay attention to that position, and then we're going to go to yours really quick, and we're going to watch from this point on. You'll see less and less of the bottom graphics of the board, and you're going to get more and more folded over, meaning that you kind of crouch down, and then you're going to start looking into your flip and folding in half kind of sideways to start flipping really early. So I just kind of want you to watch as this unfolds. So you'll notice that the board is already completely flat and actually has lost traction. All of this whitewash and spray in front of the board means that you're sliding sideways instead of tracking properly. And then we're going to get to the point where your back foot is kind of right at the edge of the wake. I'll see if I can back it up. There we go. So your back foot is in the same position as Kyle's back foot is in. And let's toggle back and forth here. So look at Kyle's back foot. Same spot as yours is. However, look how much of the board I can see with Kyle. So the amount of board I can see means that he's leaning back against the rope more, which shows us this bottom graphic of the board. Additionally, the angle that his body is at is not that extreme, whereas when you look at yours, you're a lot more of an angle than Kyle's is. So what that's going to mean is, and you're also turning front side a little bit, you can see that your face and chest is already kind of going into the flip, facing the flip, whereas Kyle's is still squared up to the boat because all he's focusing on is really leaning against the line right here. And then this is going to send him up nice into the flip and then set him back upright when he lands. And so with yours, because you're already turning front side so much right here, what's going to happen is when you land, you're also going to land with a little bit of this front side spin. So this board is pointing almost 90 degrees perpendicular of the boat's path, which is going to cause you to land there. So, and your height's not bad, but we just got to fix a couple things. And then you'll notice when you go to land again, the board is still in that 90 degrees perpendicular position, which makes it really hard for you to land, and it's not as controlled. So that's the big thing, is don't edge out quite so wide. You should cut maybe 5 to 10 feet out of that approach, so come in a little shorter. And then I love the start of this. This starts out fantastic. But if the wake was right here, then it would be perfect. You could just edge just like that all the way through the wake. But instead, you come off of edge, your board starts to flatten out there because you stop leaning, and then right here you start to flip. Your body language right now is telling me that you're trying to flip with your body into this whole thing. And that's just going to throw you off. So that's the key, is a nice short approach. Let's watch this really quickly. Nice short approach, nice good strong body position, and then a hard load through the wake. And it's going to be surprising how that short edge, short distance with lots of load is going to send you up into the flip really nice. Now for your homework, what I want you to do is I want you to watch this video, Hillside Backroll Analyzing the Clip. And this is Kyle Schmidt walking you through every piece of the backroll that we just showed you. And he's going to break this down piece by piece, and it's going to be really, really easy to digest. So when you watch this video, I want you to think through it mentally and see if all of that makes sense and you can translate it into your backroll. Because honestly, your backroll right now is really, really good, and it's really, really close. It's just a few minor fixes that we're going to have to do, and those minor fixes have a big impact in how your backroll functions. So I want to have you work on that, watch that video, and then just start applying them. I don't think you really need to go back to a one-wake version or anything like that. I think you're doing pretty good right now, unless we find that we run into a big wall with this. I would just say try to implement those things we talked about. Watch Hillside Backroll Analyzing the Clip video, and once we get that, you should be landing these things pretty comfortably. If you're not, then hit us up in the comments, or you can upload another video of yourself working on it, and we can kind of troubleshoot from there. But yeah, good luck, and if you have questions, we'll be in touch. Thanks.